Hey there, Kaaboose here. In Tales of Symphonia, you can get as many level 3 EXGEMS as you desire, simply from stealing them from the reoccurring Sword Dancer enemy, letting him defeat your party, and then stealing from him again. While this sounds like a simple and easy process, there are a few hurdles that can make this quite the challenge to pull off. I've put together this guide to show you how to do this efficiently and to help you gauge if this is something you want to take the time to do. EXGEMS are an upgrade system in Tales of Symphonia you can use to enhance and change the way party members grow and behave. We're introduced to them fairly early on in the game. They're not reusable and they're not a common resource, so it can be daunting to commit to using them on any character. Directly after the 5th boss, the Mysterious Assassin, you get access to the optional Sword Dancer boss. At this point in the game, you don't even have access to level 2 EXGEMS, so being able to get as many level 3 ones as you like opens up a lot of room for experimentation and fun abilities on your party members that you don't normally get until around the 20-hour mark. With my famously terrible RNG, I was able to steal 14 of them in an hour. That's well over half of what you'd expect to find in an entire playthrough of the game. I'll go into details later on what you can do with all of these, but as a rough guide, they can allow extra hits on your character's basic combos, faster spell casting, and the Eternal EX skill, which is used in many useful compound EX gem skills. More on all that later. At the very least, I recommend stealing one, as it allows you to purchase them for grade from the cats vendors for the rest of the game. Let's start with the basics. How to steal items. Only Colette is capable of this with her Item Thief and Item Rover abilities. You get the Item Thief skill very early on in the game. In fact, if you somehow don't have it by the time you fight the Mysterious Assassin, a few fights should be all you need to unlock it. Unfortunately, it's not a simple ability to use. For one, it has a fair amount of wind-up as Colette stumbles forwards, and then it leaves her exposed on the ground for a while afterwards. Even worse, unless the enemy is in a staggered state, either from the attack itself or a previous one, the steal will always fail. This includes failing when the enemy is knocked down from an ability such as Beast or Stalagmite. It's also not a cheap ability to use, and you'll find yourself running out of TP with repeated usage. The most reliable way to ensure a successful steal attempt is to have another party member stagger the enemy and then use Item Thief while they are staggered, as Colette does not have any way to reliably combo Item Thief from her attacks, as the wind-up is too long. There is always a chance for an enemy to block a regular attack or ability, so the most reliable way to stagger an enemy is to hit them with a long-lasting spell that does not knock them over. As long as the enemy wasn't in the process of attacking or casting their own spell, a spell will always result in a stagger on most foes, and the Sword Dancer is included. Because of this, I recommend not having Lloyd in the party, as he rushes the Sword Dancer and will trigger an attack, often resulting in spells failing to stagger the Sword Dancer. All of this means you're going to have to be controlling Colette yourself to have any chance of stealing from a dangerous boss like Sword Dancer. I recommend the following party setup for maximum effectiveness. Turn off all abilities except for Fireball for Genis, Windblade for Kratos, and Charge for Rain. Have Genis and Rain set to using skills at once, and have Kratos set to skills magic. Have Genis and Rain on move freely. I know some people say to set them to long-range magic, but I find doing this makes them get into melee when they get on low TP, so I leave it on move freely. Next, edit all characters' orders for reserve and set everyone to front lines and do not use. Now get into a fight. Once the fight begins, as soon as Kratos and Genis begin casting, change the orders to reserve. Just before the first spell lands, start moving towards the Sword Dancer. Use Item Thief while he is staggered by the spell, and congratulations! You have made a successful steal attempt. Yes, unfortunately, even when you make a successful steal attempt, it has a chance to fail, and the chance of failure is very high for a boss. Thankfully, though, there are a few ways to increase the odds of stealing. As far as I know, there is only one way to increase your chance to steal, outside of a way that isn't available to us until much later in the game. And that is by having a high luck score. Luck is a very weird stat in Tales of Symphonia. Every time you rest, each party's member's luck is randomly generated between 1 and 100. So right now, Colette's luck is... it's 1. That was literally a 1 in 100 chance of happening, and it's happened to me. We're off to a wonderful start. Anyway, let's rest now and see what happens. See, Colette's luck has changed. It's now 79. Much better. However, we have a 1 in 10 chance of getting 90 or more, so let's save and try again. Nope, back to 15. So we don't waste all of our geld, let's quickly load and try again until we get 90 or more. And here we have it! We got 98! That is way better than what I hoped for, so let's save. Unfortunately, in solving our luck problem, we've created a new one for ourselves. As you've probably gathered, we can no longer rest if we don't want to go through that entire process again. Thankfully, this isn't much of a problem either. First, we go to the shack across from us and we find the Wonder Chef, who teaches us how to make onigiri, or rice balls, or jelly donuts, whatever you like to call these things. These have one very cheap ingredient, rice, which we can conveniently buy from the vendor in town for 60 geld each. For maximum effect, we have Genus to be the one to cook these and use them after every combat to restore some TP and HP. This combined with Rain and Kratos' healing arts should be more than enough to keep you going. That's right, through the power of child labour we can now get by without resting. However, this is a little more expensive, so you'll need cash, and here's how we get it. First, give Colette 2 level 1 EXGEMS and set them to Sharp-Eyed and Tough. This will give Colette an increased chance of finding items after battle. Combined with her high luck, this should result in many more items than usual. Even better, the enemies out here all drop various ingredients to increase the effect of cooking rice balls. A common drop from the bandits is also magical cloth, which you can sell for 1,000 geld each. When fighting, try to use reserve as much as possible so your party doesn't burn through the TP. All of this should keep you healthy and wealthy. From here, you can attempt to steal from the sword dancer, or, and I recommend this, you can do one more thing to increase your luck. We're going on a journey. First up, you will need at least 4,000 geld. Second, I recommend having 2 beast fangs, which are dropped from the bears in Osa Trail or stolen from the wolves outside Isolde. There's a good chance you'll already have 2 of these. And the black silver item you can find in the mine on Osa Trail. This will allow you to get a hefty upgrade for Kratos, further justifying this journey. Though, our primary reason is still to increase Colette's steal chance through luck. There is an accessory you can use to increase your luck, and it's only found in one place in the entire game, a shop in Lewin. The good news? It's in reach. The bad news? Getting there requires you to go through an area filled with high-level monsters. Don't worry, you can do this fairly easily. First up, we head north. Just before the bridge, head west to activate long-range mode. This makes things faster on the return trip. Now, once you cross the bridge, you are in dangerous territory. So, how do we beat the monsters? That's the neat part. We don't. And I don't mean running, as that can take too long and get you killed. What you do is travel until you see a foe, and then you save your game. Now load. All the foes are gone. Rinse and repeat, no encounters. Keep heading north until you reach Nova's caravan. Then, head southeast towards the mountain town of Heimer. Towards. Do not enter this town. It will trigger a cutscene with the assassin, and as humorous as this can be, this puts you on the early game hard path. Basically, it changes the order of events in the story, and what would normally be the 13th boss is now the 6th, and this will result in you having to grind a lot of levels. If that sounds fun, or you've played Tales of Symphonia before, you can do this. Just be prepared, as you will be fighting some really tough bosses underleveled. Whatever you choose to do, from Heimer, head south along the coast, eventually veering northeast until you find a stone to activate long-range mode in the region. This will make avoiding the monsters much easier, as they'll only move when you do in long range mode. Double back to Nova's caravan and head north until you find a road and follow it until you cross a bridge. You'll lose long range mode here, but just head north to the bridge to find the stone for this region as well. The entrance to Lewin is just southeast of here. Inside Lewin, find the weapon shop and buy yourself 2 rabbit's feet, whatever, and equip them on Colette. This gives you an extra 60 luck. If you brought the Black, Silver and Beast Fangs, you can also upgrade Kratos' longsword for a steel sword at the customization shop, and then upgrade the steel sword to a silver sword. If you have to do any farming before Sword Dancer, this will be a huge help. Now, before you head back, I also recommend heading north of Lewin, just past the Tower of Mana, and picking up the level 2 EX gem there, unlocking the ability to buy level 2 EX gems from the cats as well. Now let's head back to Isolde. It's time to get our gems. Unless you want to do a ton of saving and loading, I recommend having 20 rice and 20 orange gels before attempting to farm gems from the Sword Dancer. If you're okay with saving and loading though, don't worry about too many gels, you can always buy more. Be sure to save outside Osa Trail, enter, head into the mine, and then straight towards the Sword Dancer. As mentioned before, only enable Fireball on Genis, Windblade on Kratos, and Charge on Rain. Have them using skills at once and no normal attacks. Set their reserve order to frontline and normal attacks only. Now, engage the Sword Dancer. Again, as Kratos and Genis begin to cast their spells, set them to reserve mode and then make a steal attempt. It can take a bit of practice to get the timing right, and sometimes, depending on how Genis and Kratos decide to cast, you'll have a very small window of opportunity to make the steal. After your party is defeated, have Genis make rice balls and try again. If Rain is at max TP, consider healing Colette to full, as this will give you another opportunity to steal if the party members are able to stagger him with melee attacks after they use their spells. Once you get your first EX gem, consider giving it to Kratos and giving him the Slasher skill. This will change his basic attack from 3 to 6, giving you a much larger window to attempt to steal if the party manages to stagger him with normal attacks. If you want to save, or you need to leave to buy more gels or rice balls, remember, heal your party before you head out. The last thing you want is to lose all you've farmed by accidentally running into a monster on the way out. If you have the unison attack available, always heal Colette to full before starting a fight. Once the fight starts, try for a steal, and if it fails, follow up with a unison attack. Just make sure you're close before doing it, and don't knock the Sword Dancer away with Sonic Thrust or the like, and this will always be a successful steal attempt. After that, if you still haven't stolen it, quickly jump over him and lure him towards you. The party should be able to instantly stagger him from behind, giving you another opportunity to steal. This is so advantageous that whenever you have a unison attack, consider leaving and saving outside to make the most of these situations. If you fancy your luck, and you should have it in spades by now, consider giving Colette a level 3 EX gem as well, and giving her the Resurrect ability. This has a chance of triggering when she dies, possibly giving you another opportunity to steal. Or you could set her to Lucky and give her another 10 luck. Giving Rain and Genis a level 3 EX gem and the add combo allows them to stagger the boss longer as well, which actually happens a lot thanks to Kratos' Slasher. You can change these for more useful level 3 EX gem skills later. As you can see above, we were able to power up our party a bit already just by increasing their attack hits, but there is more potential here thanks to compound EX skills. Certain combinations of EX gem abilities can apply bonus abilities. We already did this with Colette using Sharp-Eyed and Tough to get the Item Finder compound EX skill. So here are some examples. Maybe you want to keep Colette's luck high to keep farming items later on. Give her another level 1 gem and a level 3 gem. Set the abilities to Lucky, Sharp-Eyed, Tough, and Strong. She will keep Item Finder, but she'll also gain Crit Up, which ups her critical chance on top of the way her luck does that. She'll also get the Power Hammer ability, which will give her a chance to throw a hammer when she's hit based on, guess what, her luck as well. But maybe you want Colette to be a little stronger. Well, if you give her 2 level 3 EXGEMS and 1 level 2 EXGEM, then set them to Eternal, Vitality and Spirit, after every battle she'll have a chance to permanently increase her HP and TP. This early on in the game, that will amount to a lot of bonus health and TP over time. Or did you actually enjoy controlling Colette and want to keep doing that? My suggestion, and the one I use, is to try 2 level 3 EX gems and 2 level 1 gems. Set them to Eternal, Resurrect, Strong and Tough. This will give her a bunch of useful skills, compound and normal, to up her damage and durability. What about the other characters? Want to try using Kratos? Did you notice that Kratos cannot use attacks or skills after his 4th slasher attack? Give him 2 more level 3 EX gems and set all his gems to Slasher, Super Chain and Eternal. He can now use abilities after the 6th hit thanks to the Super Blast Compound EX skill. Give him 1 level 1 EX gem and set it to Strong, he'll get the Chivalry ability as well, which increases his damage based on the number of female party members. What about our casters? Are you sick of Rain and Genis running out of TP and getting interrupted all the time? Give them E-Guard, Guard Plus and Magical. These are gem levels 3, 2 and 1 respectively. This will give them E-Block, which gives them a chance to avoid staggering from elemental attacks, and Blood Spirit, which gives them TP whenever they survive taking damage. If you give Genis an extra level 2 gem and give him Spirit, he'll get the technical skill as well, which will drop the cost of all of his spells too. These are just a few of my favourite early game skills for your current characters. There are many more. So, when all is said and done, if all of this sounds like it's just going to be too much trouble and you'd rather just get on with the story, then farming the Sword Dancer probably isn't for you. However, if you want more flexibility in customizing your party early on, or you want to try that hard path I mentioned, then I think you'll find taking an hour or so to farm the Sword Dancer well worth the effort.
If you're still not sure, I have a link below to an hour of farming with timestamps so you can see exactly what you're getting yourself into. Lastly, if you are playing the GameCube version of Tales of Symphonia and you're familiar with spell cancelling, you can use it to keep Colette's TP topped up so cooking and gels aren't even necessary for this farm. This method is not viable in any other version though, which is why I didn't mention it until now. If you've watched this far, then thank you so much. A lot of work went into making this little guide, and if you found it enjoyable or informative, then it was all worth it. I'd also like to thank my little brother, Dragon V0942, for letting me use his recording room so the majority of this video didn't sound like it does now. Please comment if you have any thoughts, or if you have any questions on any part of this guide. I'll be sure to answer them as best I can. Likes and subs are always appreciated. Kaaboose signing out. May your gaming bring you joy.